Well, hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me. I'm Jill Bloom, Group Publisher of Roofing Contractor, and welcome to the Best of Success podcast show. It's always an honor to have with me Trent Cotney, partner with Adams and Reese. Trent, thanks so much for joining me.
Hey, Jill, Happy New Year.
Well, Trent, there's always lots to talk about, and especially now, there's a lot going on just on the political front with lots of nominations, which we'll talk about in a minute. But there's other things happening in Florida on the insurance front that we were just talking about. What does everybody need to know? There's some interesting things that have been said and happening, but I'll let you take it from here.
Yeah, Florida has become the epicenter for insurance reform nationwide. And, you and I have talked about it before. The insurance lobby is using Florida as sort of the test market. And the reason why Florida is being targeted is because, our insurance rates are so high. Mine's doubled twice in the last couple of years. Not looking forward to getting my renewal this year after Milton and Helene. But one of the things that we're seeing is a continued focus by the insurance lobby to reduce litigation expenses as it relates to homeowners bringing claims against insurance companies and trying to prevent plaintiffs' lawyers from bringing those types of claims. But also, we're seeing a dramatic push towards legislative reform. There's a variety of bills that have been sort of in the works or percolating that look to, make it more difficult to make claims. We've seen some insurers apply for exceptions for things like hail damage, trying to carve that out of coverage. So I anticipate that as the year progresses, you're going to see a bigger push both from the legislature and, from our governor to try to do what they can to keep insurers in this market. A lot of the people that I talk to, contractors included, are concerned that, we're going to be at a point where insurance is unaffordable and you're going to have to go, self-insured if you don't have a mortgage or anything of that nature. So there has to be a happy medium. Unfortunately, we've had some significant storms over the last few years. Not sure what the answer is, but you can absolutely anticipate that there will be more changes this year, and that those changes will move out to other storm-heavy claim areas like Texas, Oklahoma, Colorado, North Carolina. Those areas where you're seeing a large number of claims. They're going to use the legal challenges and other things that they've succeeded on here, and then take that on the road. And you're already starting to see that in places like Texas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, lots going on. The other thing we were talking about was just some of the nominations, Trent, that are happening right now in Washington with the different agencies that could be affecting the industry, especially in construction and architecture. What are those, and how do you think that'll be? Will that hurt? Is there anything happening that you see that you're concerned about, or that you're excited about, or just in general? What do you see, or what are you hearing?
Yeah, so the cabinet picks from Trump, obviously they're supporting his position. I think there's a lot of interesting choices, whether there's a big Florida contingent, which I think is interesting and probably a way to sort of tighten support that he's got with Governor DeSantis and beyond. I think you'll have, cabinet picks like RFK that will look to make some significant changes, both from, a food standpoint and how we, deal with medicine and other things. And then you've got, more controversial picks like Pete Hegseth, which I think he's got a great military background. It's interesting to see, how he will navigate the approval process and how that will work. What I'm primarily focused on from a construction standpoint are really two things. One, I expressed some concern before, and we've talked about it. Immigration is the biggest issue. And, when we go to Roofing Day this year, I encourage, all our listeners, whether you're in roofing or not, to go up to Congress and make sure that your voice is heard. If you have, associations or others that have the capability of going up there as a group, talk on this issue of immigration, because we need to have a way to get a legal workforce here easily. I am all for border security. I'm here for making sure that we have legal work and legal workers. as I'm sure every contractor is. But I'm also concerned that some of our policies may inadvertently run off some of our labor, and we're in a position right now where roofing and other trades, construction has been very strong, and I want to make sure that we are keeping that labor force at hand so that we can meet the demand that's out there. The other thing that I think is interesting, Jill, is there's been a couple of key committee appointments within Congress that I think are going to be beneficial both from a labor perspective and an OSHA perspective. And that's Representative Tim Walberg. He's a Republican from Michigan, will chair up the Education and Workforce Committee. And then Senator Bill Cassidy, Republican from Louisiana, is going to head up the HELP Committee, which stands for the Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee. Both of those committees help form a lot of the regulation and framework that kind of goes into OSHA and our labor. So having, friendly faces, friendly voices. I know Senator Cassidy has participated in Roofing Day and the Tile Roofing Institute and helped them in the past. It's going to be nice to have, some friendly faces to help, navigate regulation. So looking forward to the changes to come. Obviously I think, after January 20th, we're going to have a lot more to talk about, but right now this is sort of what I see in the tea leaves.
Yes, it's going to be interesting to see how all these changes take place and how they can affect us. Hopefully help us more than anything else. And hopefully it's not some of the, like you were saying, some of those changes aren't going to scare some of our workforce away. It was interesting because I was talking to Amparo, who's the founder of Latinos in Roofing, and I asked her about this, and she said to me that, Jill, we just talk about focusing on work, and not much changes don't happen fast; they happen very slowly. So I thought that was a really great insight when she said we just are going to focus on work, which is always great advice.
Well, that's a great advice for anything. Focus on what you can control, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think we need to do the same thing. Look into the future. There's no point in doing a lot of hand wringing. What we can do is focus on what we've got in the present. Prepare as best we can. Make sure that we're constantly communicating with our labor, regardless of whether it's W-2 or it's through subs. And construction is resilient. Regardless of what happens, I'm confident that we'll have a strong year this year.
Sounds great. I'm looking forward to it. Well, Trent, thank you so much as always. And if anybody has any questions, how do they find you?
Sure. They can email me, trent.cotney@arlaw.com, or hit me up on social at Trent Cotney.
Sounds great. And if anybody has any questions for us, it's roofingcontractor.com, wconline.com, or buildingenclosureonline.com. And while you're there, make sure you sign up for all our free content, especially follow us on all our social media channels so you can stay up to date in all the great interviews we're putting together like we are today with Trent. But most importantly, stay safe and healthy, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks again, Trent.
Thank you.